Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our last minute BFCM tips webinar, the EMEA edition. I'm going to hold off for a little bit before we get started. I can see a couple of people trickling in already, but please bear with us and we'll start in the next few minutes. While we wait, if you want to let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat, I can see Paris, I'm in London, Stockholm already. So put a message in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Welcome, everyone. I can see a few more people coming in, so feel free to interact in the chat. We've seen Amsterdam, Eindhoven, Stockholm, London, France. Keep putting them in. We also have the Q&A section, so throughout the webinar, please feel free to interact with our speakers. We've got an awesome lineup today, and I'm going to get going in a couple of minutes. All right, everyone, I'm going to get a move on and kick us off for the morning. Again, welcome to everyone from across Europe. I've seen some different cities tuning in already. Today is a pretty cool webinar, in my opinion. We've got some great guests across Gorgeous, which is myself, Dema, Yotpo, and SendCloud. And we're talking obviously about the big elephant in the room, which is coming up just around the corner, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and some last minute tips for you all. So really hopeful that you'll get some insightful takeaways from today's session. I'm sure you will. To introduce a couple of things, we have the question and answer section on the right as well as chat, so feel free to interact in either of those. Would love to hear your feedback throughout in the chat, but also afterwards. Feel free to engage with the speakers and other guests. And if you are posting about being here today at the webinar, please tag D2CX, hashtag and tag us on socials. So, as I mentioned, we have some very distinguished guests with us today. I will be doing a short presentation myself. We have Henrik Hoffman Kraft from EMEA, the co-founder and CMO, Matt Brindley, who heads up partnerships at Yotpo, and Anna from SendCloud, Anna Rouleau from SendCloud, who will be speaking as well. So looking forward to welcoming everyone to the stage. But without further ado, I'm going to bring Henrik in for our first talk, which I'm really excited about.
Hi, Theo.
Hey, Henrik. Hear me all right?
Everything is all right in Stockholm. It's very much last minute for me here before taking off to Amsterdam, actually, to an
Looking
amazing
forward to
event
seeing you
down
there.
there. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. But I've been told we have a tight schedule today, so I will just get going, right?
Nice one. I will leave you to it and jump into the back room.
Thank you so much. And yeah, last minutes before BFCM. I don't know when you will start yours. I assume some of you maybe already have started. Sometimes it's called Black Month these days, right? Some of you are starting soon. Some are actually starting and only doing Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Like, sure, I totally understand that you might not have time for all my last minute things, but I highly recommend you to at least go through these things before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And these three levers, I believe, is defining those who maximize Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I say maximize, I don't say win, because I think that we're not really playing in the same league. And to not kill ourselves around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we shouldn't expect us to win over those who are actually winning up until Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? So maximize our own potential is what I'm going for. This is a little bit about where I come from, a Nordic e-commerce group called Baby Shop Group. I wasn't one of the founders, but I joined quite early. And in 10 years, this was quite a journey. I joined at around, say, 35, 40 million euro in revenue, and I left around 120 million euro in revenue. You can just imagine, and this was multi-brand, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday was insane for us in so many ways. Many times not healthy for us individuals taking part of it. So how you maximize Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I've been thinking a lot about this since I agreed to join this amazing webinar. And I really think it's down to alignment internally about what really matters. I'll go into that. It's about being ready, like having realistic targets and be ready to act on it. And then also like responsive during this period. Can you actually seize the moment and act on opportunities that pops up? And more or important perhaps is when everything is not going as expected, whatever targets you have, how do you respond to that? Plan to be in the best position possible. So what I believe after seeing a lot of Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, you need to know the targets internally. And sure, it might look like this for you. Okay, year over year, top line 20%, 25% up, 30% contribution margin, dollars or whatever, up 45% new customers versus last year, or it should be at 45% new customers versus returning. And then you might have these target markets that has specific targets for you that are really important for the company. The problem here is, do you know the prio here between these targets? What can be sacrificed and who calls the shots? Like, is it the number one target is top line, or is it contribution margin these days? Is it to really get new customers into the door that we then can nurture during the year and earn more money from? Or are they not really that valuable, so we can actually skip that target? Is it important to, let's say, grow Germany that much that we were going for, even though when we believe and we hit a certain bump in the road early on, right? What can be sacrificed and who can call these shots? I remember when we scaled this baby shop group, it was not clear at all. We had 5, 6 different targets. We had them for 20 or so countries. And of course, we were not hitting all those targets. Anxiety spread, super stressful. Everyone was just running around, like who to go to, but also like what is the main KPI here? Is it to get rid of stock? Is it to protect margin? Is it to get those new customers? Align. I think it's so important here. Are those targets realistic? I did this my last year, first time actually. I was part of the growth team, primarily responsible for all the returning customers coming in. And then it took me a couple of weeks because I didn't have something like Dema back then. But it took me weeks to understand our cohorts. Are they ready to shop? Have we had good enough new customer acquisition up until Black Friday? And then you need to go down into the details and look year over year. What was the percentage of new customers last year versus returning? My situation that year was actually that we had, lucky enough, grown our share of sales on the returning side, which was my responsibility, but we didn't really have that much new customer acquisition up until the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I just saw that I will not be able to reach the target, not from my channel, the emails, the SMS, whatnot, but also in general from new customers. So I had to flag that this is not realistic. And I think you can do this in so many ways. You can do this on categories, for example. Not only do you have stock that can actually handle the sales targets, but also dividing the categories, what is actually selling year over year during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Is it the same categories that trending up until Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? There are so many things that you can dig deep into here. And although you don't have a super advanced analytics tool, you might be able to just go over to a colleague, ask at the buying department, like, I want this and this and this, right? Or your CRM manager or whatever, like, we need to get this straight. Like, where is the profit coming from? Where do we expect it to come from? These kind of things. Do we have, for example, the same marketing budget that can defend the top line growth or the new customer percentage? Have the marketing efficiency up until Black Friday been on par with last year? For many these days, it's a no. Okay, well, then we need even more marketing money during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, right? Have we had a good run in to this Black Friday, Cyber Monday versus last year? There are so many of those things that will tell you, are your targets realistic or not? And that is the planning, but then is the proactivity, the responsiveness, right? During Black Friday, Cyber Monday, do you have all these metrics clearly defined, easy to follow, just fed to you? And can you break them down? Can you slice them and dice them down to category, SKU, color, country? You need to be able to do that, right? And also, can you look at the the input metrics. The sales is just an output metrics, right? But what is going into that metric? What is building up sales? These kind of metrics. So you can actually act on it if sales is behind, right? To not just throw another discount code or whatever, right? So I think these are super, super important. So for me, the calm operator wins in Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The calm operator and the prepared operator also feels a little bit better psychologically in this very hectic time, right? So I believe that putting time into these things versus running around in circles talking about whatever word should be headline in your ad, these kind of things, more important, both for your own health and for the company, because something will not go according to the plan, right? And then you need to be responsive. And if you haven't done the plan before, looked at the targets, like, you won't be in that position, right? So that is my suggestion to all of you. And I think that now I am at 10 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you, Henrik. That was really good. And, we've spoken at depth around contribution margin and profitability. And I think peak period is the key, most important time where that actually comes into it. I guess there is one question in the chat. Bushra was asking sort of how are customers looking after, how are brands looking after their customers post BFCM? So looking at, yes, the acquisition bit, but following on there. I will talk to this in part in my chat, which is up next anyway, but I'm curious if you have any parting thoughts on this topic.
I think that I think the Gorgias scope is very good for that. Obviously, I think that it's super important to understand the value of the new customers you bring in to the door. What we saw back in the days, and we had more than 1 million shoppers at Baby Shop Group, or had historically, the worst ones that never came back or never became profitable when they came back was the ones shopping the deepest discounts at Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That was super obvious. So get your LTV on a profit level, the prediction there. Of course, you can't do that in like 10 days now before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but that is also part of the planning before, to really assess how important is that metric. Is it realistic that we will get that much out of them afterwards? Some yes, some don't not. And understand who are not interested. Maybe super discounting accessories in country XYZ. Well, don't go after them. Don't spend on accessories in those countries, for example.
It's a great point. And I'll talk to how you can retain customers in a second, but you summed it up right there. Maybe you don't want to retain some customers. So Henrik, thank you. If you could stop sharing your screen, I will jump into the next section where I'll be talking about CS in relation to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Cool. So the topic for this little section is around leveling up your CX performance under pressure. So we know that this is a very high pressure situation, high pressure time of year. But I always love to start with a meme when I am presenting to spice it up a little bit. So I think that what I want to speak to today are 15 tips, which may sound like a lot, but they fit 3 for each of these categories, right? I think you might be, and they're not exclusive, you might be doing multiple of these things. But I think if you've already set your CX up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you probably fit into one of these categories or multiple, right? So you might have scaled up your in-house team. And the reason I say all of this as a set thing is you've either already done this or not. It's too late to say you should be implementing X, Y, Z or changing your strategy. You as a brand operators are already in these positions. So you've scaled up your in-house team to it with seasonal hires. You might have also, or in place of that, cut costs by outsourcing some of your tickets to a BPO. You're deflecting tickets from your CX team and your BPO through using automated flows. And this is where I'm starting to be like, we're really cooking over here in the lead up to Black Friday. And then the last two, where it's like really mind-blowing stuff for me, is AI is taking action across your tech stack. So fully resolving tickets, and automating, let's say, at least 40% of your support queries. And the god level tier, if you like, is AI is not only completing or completely resolving these support queries, but selling for you. So for each of these, I've got 3 quick tips if you're in these situations, and how you can maybe optimize it over the next couple of weeks leading into Black Friday. The first one is around if you've scaled up your in-house team. So this is probably going to be tied to yet a slower response time, even though you've got a higher number of people answering tickets. You might want to be quite transparent and set up some auto replies around like how realistically long it's going to take you to respond. I think we've got Matt from Yotpo on the call, and I think one of the things they do really well is around loyalty, for example, and the tiering systems of customers. So talking to what Henrik said, like understanding your customers, where they fit within your matrix, and actually then tagging and routing specific tickets based on that understanding, I think is really important. So you might want your highly loyal customers to get prioritized customer support, for example. And that's something you can set up in the next 2 weeks, right? So nothing groundbreaking here. And then the last thing I would go away and do is create 10 BFCM macros. So around your top performing or your top numbers of tickets. You can see probably analytics around this if you've got a help desk solution like Gorgias. But yeah, you would want to be setting these up to be quicker when these tickets do come in, right? So some people might still be working out of inboxes depending on the size of your brand. Really recommend coming into a help desk at this stage and actually setting up some pre-written templates. So one thing also to call out, we have SendCloud speaking on the call. Delivery delays, I think, is a really, really important one. So we've actually just launched today an integration with them, which I'm really excited about on the Gorgias side, which allows you to pull in like proactive carrier delays so that you can create messaging and proactively reach out. So big game changer. And again, something you could set up between now and the end of the month. Quick overview. I've mentioned Gorgias a couple of times. This is what it might look like within the platform. I don't want to give a full demo or anything or go too deep into it, but down here in the bottom is where you would obviously respond to the tickets. You have visibility over everything. And what I was mentioning around macros, you would essentially have pre-written notes that you could just put in there in a couple of clicks. Onto the second section and the 3 tips that go with them. If you're cutting costs by outsourcing to a BPO, there are 3 things I think you could do now. So you want to maybe set up a war room with your BPO in any case, so that you've got like a really constant communication channel, but maybe you could even simulate in advance like a high volume of tickets to test them and figure out which tickets aren't being responded to either in the quality or time that you would expect. I would be taking the macros one step further and making sure that they're labeled really well. So if you've got either seasonal hires or a BPO working on it, they need to be able to know this is a BFCM specific macro that I can implement with those couple of clicks really easily. And then I would challenge you to say, well, we're already trying to cut costs here. We're outsourcing. Let's set up like 1 to 3 automated flows this year. Nothing game changing, but to try and deflect some of those tickets and reduce the value of that BPO contract for yourself as well. On to the next sort of category. Again, want to remind everyone before I jump into this, you may be doing multiples. So this is a perfect link between, okay, you've got a BPO, you've also scaled your team internally maybe, but actually you can still have some automated flows that are deflecting those tickets. So if you've already set some of those up, or those 1 to 3, maybe look at the historic drop-off analysis to identify where in these flows people are stopping chatting. So if you've got a chat flow where you ask, okay, there's my order is damaged or something like that, at which point are they either getting the answers that they need or stopping to interact because they're not finding the answers? And I think that's really important. Something you can do in Gorgias is actually duplicate your flows into multiple languages. Again, like when someone comes on in Germany, for example, you would want them to see these sort of triggers and get the responses in their local languages, but you will need to set that up. So check if you have it for the countries that you're targeting this year. And then I would also look at, if you're using Gorgias already, the order management functionality. So we're talking about here reducing chats completely and avoiding them. Last two sections, and it's where it gets really high level for the AI perspective. If you are already automating a large percentage of your tickets, ensure that you've got clear escalation triggers, so those handoff topics. Implement support actions within your guidance. So when you're giving clear guidance around, if this happens, take this action. And the third one is review the recommended guidance, which is quite Gorgias specific. But within the Gorgias platform, we'll be saying, we're seeing these tickets, which you're actually not giving the AI the best information on today. So you can make some last minute changes. And what that looks like in practice is knowing and identifying the intent of a message, being able to go away to Shopify, for example, or any of our other partners, and take an action without humans needing to get involved at all. Which then, to wrap up, brings me to this God tier. If you're already doing this, I'm super impressed anyway, but let's look at how you can quickly sort of maximize this. So you can promote or exclude specific products in line with your strategy. So Henrik before was talking about the profitability, for example, of customers, but also individual products. So if you were tagging them, you could actually be pushing them as part of your strategy of, well, yes, we've got our new line or a low sell through, but actually these specific products make us the most margin, if that was your focus for BFCM. And the last two are curating your own selling style, using discount strategies, but it has to be in line with your overarching discount promo that you're putting out. And the third one, reviewing your product tags to ensure high quality recommendations. So one thing that I see all too often is the product tags in Shopify not being high quality, like up to date. And this means that obviously the AI can make product recommendations based on that. So check all of those things. Thank you for listening. Cool. The next section is for us to introduce Matt, who I referenced in that chat from Yotpo. Matt, welcome to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here.
I will share my screen, make sure I get this correct, and then let's get that into slideshow mode. So yeah, I'm Matt from Yotpo, so I look after the partnerships. I'm going to set the scene with trends to watch for Black Friday, Cyber Monday in 2025 with 4 major focus areas. So as we all know, AI is prevalent. The number one trend to watch is the rise of AI specifically in shopping. So that's all around the agentic commerce and how we can utilize LLMs to go to market and get those customers purchasing super quickly. As we're finding 48% of shoppers think AI will make their holiday shopping easier this year. The second point is social commerce is king. So 43% of Gen Z audiences start their online product searches in TikTok. I know I've had to delete TikTok because I was utilizing it too much in that capacity, and I'm definitely not Gen Z. 3 is in-store shopping rebound. So foot traffic is for physical retail stores is expected to fully surpass pre-pandemic levels in 2025. So how can you utilize those channels and make everything a succinct journey? And then 4 is tariff shaping price sensitivity, especially on the multinational retailers. And if you're utilizing multiple geo expansion, 48% of shoppers are actually seeking out discounts to help absorb rising costs. But I'm going to now provide 5 tips specifically of how to utilize your loyal customer base. So the first one is maximizing new member acquisition. So if you have loyalty in play, don't wait until Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend to grow your loyalty base. Start building it now. You can do this by incentivizing early signups. So this can be bonus points or even giving discounts for customers that sign up to your loyalty program. Optimize your sign-up experience. So having prominent CTAs across your site and post-purchase emails, that is really key for increasing participation, sign-up rate, and then giving you access to your loyalty customers in Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Show and don't tell, with social proof that highlights the value of joining your loyalty program. And these elements can be tailored specifically to your customer, your demographic, or what you want to get from your loyalty customers prior to Black Friday, Cyber Monday kicking off. Build anticipation and stand out. Black Friday, Cyber Monday success isn't just about showing up, it's about standing out. So loyalty enables you to do this without just focusing on the discounts out there. So tease what's coming, send loyalty members hints, sneak peeks of what's going to be coming, or sometimes even give them early access. And if you are going to do that, promote it. And this is with, placement is key. And this is highlighting the benefits of early access as a peak loyalty member. Sync loyalty and marketing calendars. So make sure every teaser email and SMS and social proof mentions loyalty. Have it placed on site. As mentioned, get those signups in play, and then communicate all those benefits as a loyalty member when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Not all loyalty flows are created equally, and this is basically to get ahead of your comms, whether that is going to be, your net new clients, but specifically for loyalty, audit your flows. Start with the flows that you've got set up for acquisition, deep dive into your loyalty, and make sure that you're including loyalty call to actions and dynamic elements such as the reward balance. So if you've got a loyalty customer, you know that you've segmented and you've got a lot of customers that need to redeem those points, incorporate that into your flows when you're looking at Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Refine your segments, so treat high AOV loyalty members differently from joiners or deal-only shoppers. And this is actually a tip that can be utilized afterwards as well. So if you have loyalty, they've come back for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but they're typically high order value customers, treat them differently to your net new customers that have signed up at loyalty, and experiment with all the segmentation that you have in the back end and how you look at your customers. And then unify messaging. Highlight how points and rewards make every purchase more valuable, and how you treat every single customer different. Refresh your product redemptions. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday is always tailored towards discounts and getting those customers through the door and get them purchasing. And we know it's peak season, but you don't have to just leverage discounts. So if you want to reduce your margins, why don't include or bring back past season favorites for redemption via loyalty? Why don't you offer sample or travel sizes or exclusive merch when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Or why don't we feature overstock items? So if you know you've got a certain increase in product in your warehouses, why don't you include that within your loyalty Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategy? Because 46% of shoppers want loyalty programs to offer free products as rewards, and especially when it comes to the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period. And then post Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or on the build up, you can also segment on customers that were here last year. So don't let Black Friday, Cyber Monday slip through the cracks. Reminders about point balances, reminders of the products that they purchased last year, bring back exciting product redemptions, and bring back loyalty only offers on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You can segment, you can offer specific points earning or your points redemptions, treat and bring back those customers after Black Friday, Cyber Monday as well. Because we know that likelihood of new customers, if they sign up to loyalty, they're going to come back in 30 days anyway. So if you've got loyalty customers coming in on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you can increase the likelihood that they're going to shop with you time after time in those months afterwards when we go up to the Christmas shopping, January sales. So it's bringing back those customers time and time again and increasing that lifetime value. Without getting carried away, they are pretty much the 5 elements from me. I'll just see if there's any questions in there. Value-based incentives go a long way.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I'm just
Those are
looking at
good.
some of those questions.
Yeah, I think what's good is that you kind of echoed a lot of what I was talking about in terms of, overstock or higher AOV customers and tagging them. So it's like if you decide that is your strategy, you can apply it through loyalty, through customer support, and create a synergy throughout the whole Black Friday. So thank you for sharing. Really appreciate you joining us today. And
No
we
problem.
will
Thanks for having me.
move on to our next speaker. I'd love to introduce Anna Rouleau to the stage from SendCloud. As I mentioned, it's a big day for SendCloud and Gorgeous with our integration launching. So I'm really excited for this one as well as our other speakers. So Anna, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Theo. About to share my screen. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Anna Rouleau. I co-founded a solution named Logs that was basically helping e-commerce to manage their delivery issues, everything about lost, late, damaged packages. And we joined SendCloud in December 2024, when we got acquired. And at SendCloud, I'm at the moment responsible of promoting this post-purchase solution and talk about a bit and give you then some tips about what happens during this Black Week or Black month. Maybe to go through some numbers, because we are a tech company at SendCloud, but we also do deliver a lot of packages ourselves, hundreds of millions every year. So the first question was, what is actually happening for e-commerce brands during Black Friday and the Cyber Monday? That you will have a huge peak of 200% around, like average, if you are doing a promotional campaign most of the time. And there are certain things that will therefore always happen, which I think sometimes is good. It means that if you have more packages, that's mean that your business is definitely growing, but it also means that you will have more challenges, let's say, during your delivery. And I think a good number to share is that you have an average of 2.5 days where that your delivery will take like more time basically to get delivered. So instead of being delivered next day, it will be delivered in 3.5 days. And basically what happens then is that actually 61% of consumer that will switch retailers just because the broken delivery promises. So I think that's, we were like talking in the chat about how to keep your customer, and then definitely that during the post-purchase experience, there is a lot to do. So this is what I will be sharing in this chat. But let's first look at what is happening also when you have actually challenges with your delivery. So it's not only that your customer wants return and shop again at your e-commerce. It also that most of the time, actually 40% of the one-star review are coming from wrong delivery experience, and that is quite painful on your review rate that you are working super hard on. So you are doing a super nice product, nice e-commerce website, like you are doing everything perfect. But then because of wrong experience during the delivery, boom, you take a one-star review, which personally I think is a very like a huge pity regarding all the work that has been done. And actually, like, well, I think there's really easy and quick fix to prevent this kind of one-star review. Besides, like the impact that will be on your reviews online, it will also be that your customer team will be completely like overwhelmed. Theo talked about it a bit with the different layers, but yeah, it's also a pity that something that could be automated are making them like worked extra. Whereas, yeah, I truly believe that every minute of a customer support agent should be spent talking with the consumer and not looking on the Excel sheet or like with like for tracking data. So yeah, the question is, how can we make it from unhappy customer to happy customer again, beside the fact that something went wrong? That what I just mentioned, but it's a bit more like data on how your customer support agent are becoming a firefighter. And now to talk a bit about the the tips. They are actually once again quite easy, but therefore also easy to put in place. The first one is about the communication. So everyone knows that it's a busy period. They will accept, and then I think it also creates some empathy with the consumer and therefore some extra bounds. So they don't mind that there is some small delays, but what they do mind is that there is no communication. Before, I think like carriers were really seeing like the maybe the delayed packages or like the lost packages. Consumer were not making the difference. It's like, is it the carrier or is it the brand that is losing my package? Now it's a bit more like clear, but as a brand, you are the one that choose your carriers, and therefore the consumer really expects from you that you will make sure that the experience is the best, including the fact that they want to know if something's going wrong. I think a very good example is that if a consumer is waiting for their packages, they take maybe like a day remote, and if the package is delayed, they want to know before that they take the day remote. So maybe they have to take the day remote the next day so they can receive their package. And if you are waiting for the package a whole day, then it's just grow the frustration from 8 to 5, and that's really not. That's exactly what you want to prevent. So that's really about this communication, some easy fix such as like communicating on your website saying, hey, it's a busy period, be aware that there might be some delays. So that would definitely really help. The second one is really empowering your customer service team with data. It's a bit what I was saying earlier. Like in my point of view, and I think with all the AI trends, we like customer service should really spend all that time to talk to a human. And I think to bring this extra touch is exactly at that moment that you're going to save customer the customer loyalty. And therefore, like you should automate everything that is automable, that you can automate basically. So of course, a good example is this integration that we just launched with Gorgeous. I'm personally extremely excited. It was one of the vision of my previous company, and the fact that we could put it in place at SaintCloud was definitely an amazing achievement for us. The last point is about how can you actually help the carriers. So for them, it's also a very busy week. And then they don't always have all the capacity, even though they are doing really like their best. One thing is really about promoting out-of-home delivery. So what we see is that we ask more than 8,000 online shoppers. And what we do realize is that the standard home delivery, like that the pickup points are really rising. So in France and the Netherlands, almost like 50% actually that's going there. And then for the parcel lockers, it's also increasing in the very big markets such as Germany and the UK. And for the carriers, it's definitely like way easier to deliver at the pickup points or at the lockers. So like I would really encourage you to push for that method. And then next to that, add some reminders, some flows that, for example, send an email to remind your consumer that there is a package that is waiting for them. So then you also reduce the return. And I think that is also like very important. So same for like the experience. Some key takeaway you receive a lot in the last hour, so I will make it simple and quick. The first one is that delays and delivery issue are not a surprise during peak. So be prepared, and like there is once again easy processes that you can put in place. The second one is how can you automate the follow-ups to keep the customer informed, such as using Gorgeous with the tracking number and the tracking information that are being pushed by SaintCloud. Promote this out-of-home delivery, and keep in mind that, I think you already know that, but the UCS team should only do the cases that needs the personal touch and automate all what is repetitive and very mechanical. So that was it for me. I'm coming back.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anna. really interesting. And again, I have to call out that I think there was some great synergy throughout all 4 talks, actually. So good to see that we're all aligned. Hopefully the audience can take some great insights and go away and take some action over the next week or so to ensure that they have the best success possible over Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thank you to our amazing speakers, Matt from Yotpo, Henrik from DEMA, and Anna, yourself from SendCloud. Really appreciate you supporting us and look forward to seeing you all next time on the DTCx webinar series. See you later.